So I've talked a lot about Stevie Knight on this channel, and I've done it more than once, and I want to be clear why. I didn't start watching this guy because I hated him. I didn't start watching him to dunk on him. I started watching him because I was a fan. I used to genuinely look forward to his uploads. I really liked his critiques on the music industry, and I thought he was one of the few creators who could criticize internet culture without fully losing the plot. But somewhere along the way that changed, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Now every time he drops a video, all I see is a grown man chasing clout for a bag. And before anyone says, "Oh, you're just mad you disagree," no, that's not it. I can disagree with people and still respect them. What I don't respect is performative outrage, lazy analysis, and pretending you're above the very thing you're profiting from. This pattern didn't start recently. It started around the Kirk situation and it hasn't stopped since. If you actually pay attention to Stevie's content, you'll notice something important. The care is gone. Edits aren't checked, clips are rushed, context is missing, videos get pushed out as fast as possible because the algorithm doesn't reward thought, it rewards speed. So when Stevie lectures people about clout chasing, clicks, and exploiting controversy, I can't take it seriously. Because he's doing it off the back of a man who was assassinated. He profits off Kirk's name the same way his wife does, and neither of them are doing it for the right reasons. Now, his recent video on the Vindom situation is what finally pushed me to make this video. I'm not going to do a full breakdown, because honestly,
I could care less.
What matters isn't that video.
But then you want to cry about it now. Bro, it's just all gay, dog. It has nothing to do with being a man. It ain't got nothing to do with empowering men. If anything, it effeminates men. It makes men more soft. It makes men more irrational. It makes men more psychotic. It makes men bitches.
How do you have ears? What's the point of having your ears? There's no point in having them if you're not gonna listen.
After getting in his feelings about the red pill, Stevie uploaded a string of videos that accidentally exposed exactly who he is and what he believes.
Gay, 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 gay.
That was gay.
So today, we're going through 4 videos. Not to nitpick every second, but to talk about the ideas, the patterns, and why this content is actively bad for the men who take it seriously. Stevie opens up this video by showing clips of women saying that men need to make ridiculous amounts of money to date them. $100,000 a year, sometimes even more.
What is the minimum yearly income to be your future husband?
10 mil annually.
What do you think is ideal salary for a guy to be making?
If you're not making like 300,000 a year or above, like I'm not even looking at you.
Yeah!
Now let's ground this in reality. The average man makes somewhere between 40 and 60K a year, and 60K is good money. Plenty of people survive and even raise families on far less than what social media pretends is acceptable. The reason some people make it on 30K a year isn't because they're miserable, it's because they don't need luxury to be happy. Stevie's main point here is that you don't need to be rich to pull a bitch.
Bruh, you do not need to be rich to pull no bitch. Don't let the social media lie to you. Don't let these reels of these hoes talking all this. I need them to make 6 figures a month. I need them to make 6 figures a year. Bruh, that is not the real world. That is not reality.
Okay, technically that's true, but that's not the world young men are dating in anymore. Online dating has completely warped expectations. Traits get repeated, shared, exaggerated, and normalized until they feel universal. You can say there are exceptions, and yes there are. But how many TikToks do you need to see of women trashing men for splitting checks, not owning luxury cars, or not taking them somewhere expensive before you realize something has shifted? This is a dating market men are actually navigating. Can you find a woman who doesn't care about money? Absolutely, but there are far more who do, especially online. Even sensible women care about finances, not because they're gold diggers, but because long-term survival requires money. In most households today, 2 incomes are necessary. But when Stevie says you don't need to lead with money to pursue women, that sounds nice, but it ignores reality.
Right, but real talk, as a man, you should not be leading with money to pursue a woman, period. You know what I'm saying? If you got a little something in a checking account, right? You got a job you can be proud of. You know what I'm saying? You handle your own. You got your own place. I mean, let me preface this, bro. You need to be a responsible adult.
Women don't want a walking ATM, but they do want to know you're functional. And this is where Stevie shows how disconnected he is from the dating market. He downplays things like roommates, living situations, and financial stability, and that tells me he hasn't dated seriously in a long time. Having roommates in your early 20s? Totally normal. Still having roommates in your 30s? That signals instability to a lot of women, fair or not. Not because you're broke, because it suggests the future will be a struggle. Stevie reduces all of this to women want Birkin bags because they're hoes, which is lazy and wrong. Social media has brainwashed younger women into believing luxury is the baseline. That's not their fault. That's the ecosystem they grew up in. And here's the other issue. While making these arguments, Stevie's video itself is sloppy. His clips are completely messy. He's not even taking the time to carefully look over his edits before he even exports anything.
First of all, and the irony in that is that it's these hoes, these bitches that got these high-ass expectations that's not gonna get tied down to a real man. They're gonna get tied down to a trick. You know what I mean? But
this is what happens when you care more about uploading than getting it right. If you're going to lecture men about reality, you should at least demonstrate that you understand it. Stevie argues that masculinity is declining. And I disagree.
Internet's masculinity crisis ain't what you think it is. It's worse. This come from Salem Tovar. I don't know who shot it is, man, but I got to send this video told to Pete, so let's peep it. There's definitely a decline in masculinity, and things have gotten pretty decrepit out. This motherfucker, dog, real talk.
Just because things aren't the same as they were 10 years ago doesn't mean that they're getting worse.
Well, I wonder what the ratio is, you know what I'm saying, as far as what we see on social media compared to what women are experiencing in real life. I'd argue that it's just mainly social media. I mean, there is definitely a deteriorating of masculinity just as a whole, but yeah, I like to know. I have no way of finding that out, man. You know what I'm saying? So I pose that question to the women out here, right? What are you running into, right? Because at the end of the day, you are a reflection of whatever you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? That's why, you know, my circle, I ain't got not an ounce of no type of bitch, feminine, zesty, gay shit. None of my bros. We old school too, though, man. But if you want a masculine man, you can find him, right? You know, I'd strike this up a lot to just motherfuckers want to just say shit on social media to get views or whatever. Even though there is a decline in masculinity, man. But like male baddie, like what percentage of men out here call themselves male baddies, right? That shit gay as fuck.
Masculinity is changing because it has to. You can't be a 1950s man in a 2026 world. Those men weren't heroes. They were emotionally absent, violent, alcoholic, and uninvolved fathers. The goal isn't to erase masculinity, it's to evolve it. What Stevie calls male empowerment is just red pill ideology with better PR. He doesn't want the label because he doesn't want the association, but the beliefs are the same. If everything that doesn't fit your narrow view of masculinity is gay, that's not strength, that's insecurity. Real masculinity isn't screaming into a mic. It's responsibility, consistency, and it's emotional regulation. Online male creators perform masculinity because it sells. Fresh and Fit, Donovan Sharp, all of them, and Stevie is no different. He talks big, but when things get real, the mask slips. Masculinity that collapses under pressure isn't masculinity, it's cosplay.
This motherfucker here gonna try to critique how I speak or what the fuck this motherfucker here preach. The motherfucker that don't know how to talk.
And the idea that masculinity is dying ignores reality. Everything changes. Social interaction changed, technology changed, parenting changed. Men aren't weaker. They're navigating a world that demands different skills. This is where Stevie does the most damage. He sees a clip of a married man not having sex and paying for OnlyFans, and immediately jumps to calling him weak, broken, and less of a man.
You keeping the tip away from her? He doing something else with the tip. That's facts. You know what I'm saying? That's man nature. If she not taking the strokes, somebody else getting poked.
And that's childish. And what Stevie Knight also wants to ignore is stress. Money stress kills intimacy. Work stress kills libido. Kids kill free time. I've been with my wife for over 10 years. Sometimes life gets heavy. Sometimes you go weeks without sex. Sometimes months. And guess what? That doesn't mean the relationship is dead. It means you're adults.
Honestly, I don't remember the last time I asked that he said yes.
Sometimes
Damn.
it's interesting. A thing I
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, it's like, bro, not interested, dog. Like, y'all need to break up. All right, let's see where this is going.
The idea that constant sex is the marker of a healthy relationship is teenage thinking. Real intimacy is built on partnership, not performance. Stevie's advice: if you're not having sex, leave.
He need his ass whooped, dog. Divorce. Okay. Divorce. You know what I mean? Dog, that's a...
This is how you create lonely men with no emotional skills. That's not empowerment, it's sabotage. Now this is the point people miss. Stevie isn't unique, he's predictable. Kirk dies? Content. Red pill drama? Content. Vendome embarrassment? Content. Then he pretends he's above it while monetizing it. That's the grift. He claims to help men, but his business model requires them to stay miserable. Happy men stop consuming rage content. So watch the pattern. Watch how quickly the care disappears when the money's flowing. This isn't hate, this is disappointment. If you're a young man watching this, don't let people like Stevie convince you that being angry, paranoid, and insecure is strength. Real masculinity is boring. It's stable, it's accountable, and it doesn't need a microphone. And if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 100 subs by April. I might also be starting a podcast with my wife. You know, real conversations, real experience, no performance, that kind of thing. But until then, I'll see you in the next one.